Welcome to Tokyosaurus. So today I came across an interesting article on The Vulture, and it was an interview that they did with Jason DeMarco, who is the current senior vice president and creative director at Adult Swim, which Toonami is part of. You can check out the full article in the link in the description below. But the story begins with Cartoon Network in its infancy, and DeMarco was given a chance to bring some new action cartoons in. It wasn't exactly focused on anime until Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon took off, so it started off with a variety of different stuff. What's interesting was that as a curator to bring shows in for Toonami, since their demographic was also of a younger audience, he was not allowed to be, direct quote, swept away by serious animated stories in the US, end quote. That was because animated cartoons back then were never taken seriously. But he himself believes that any story could be told in the animation medium. So while he himself was a huge anime fan that liked all sorts of genres, he was only allowed to bring in one type. But even so, his goal was to get these kids to see stories that they wouldn't even imagine could have been told in this format. Since back then, cartoons had fairly simple stories. Basically, as he stated, Toonami's job is to bring in new fans to anime every day. They're not aiming to be the end stop. They instead want to be the gateway drug. The end stop, as he puts it, would be you subscribing to Crunchyroll or other streaming sites or watching it subbed. I remember stumbling into Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid on Toonami for the first time, and suddenly I was engrossed with this medium of storytelling because I've never seen anything like it before. I guess they were doing their job perfectly even back then. Currently, the Toonami audience is more skewed towards the female demographics than the male one, which is actually kind of surprising to me seeing how most of their shows are very shonen-esque and pretty much mostly action shows. What's even more surprising is that Toonami is actually doing very well right now and has not lost tons of viewers like their competition has over the last few years. They are doing so well, in fact, they are investing money to co-produce FLCL Season 2 and 3. And that would never really happen if money was a problem at the network. And DeMarco basically thinks it's not so much of the shows that keep the viewers around. It's the communal aspect of the stuff that happens between the shows that is the key. Having hosts discuss the previously aired content like a reviewer, or doing game reviews, or stuff that we see quite a bit of online these days. He also mentioned that the next shows he wants to bring to Toonami would be One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 100, both of which are great choices in my opinion to introduce someone to the world of Japanese animation. But yeah, I think it's really cool how television stations like Toonami are changing to stay relevant these days, and to do it successfully as Toonami has is no small feat, so kudos to them. Anyhow, do any of you remember watching Toonami back then, or even now? What shows did you watch? As usual, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to follow Tokyosaurus on social media for Japanese culture tweets and video updates. And subscribe to Tokyosaurus if you haven't already for the latest things people are talking about in Japan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.